Thank you for visiting Superliminal Self-Talk. This is a different kind of track distinguishable from the affirmations on this channel. This is a companioning practice based on the Buteyko method of breathing, developed by the Soviet physician Konstantin Buteyko in the 1950s, and taught widely today by Patrick McKeown, author of, among many other books, The Oxygen Advantage and The Breathing Cure. I have read every book written by Mr. McKeown, and I recommend all of them. The practice is centered on breathing through the nose, gently, with reduced volume. What McKeown calls breathing light to breathe right. This track shares the basics as a personal recommendation, based on my own experience with the practice. It is not a substitute for learning from McKeown's books, his app, his website, or from a certified Buteyko practitioner. If the practice resonates, those sources are where to go for proper depth. Before we begin, a few honest notes about safety. The Buteyko method has contraindications. If you are pregnant, if you have uncontrolled high blood pressure or untreated heart conditions, if you have a seizure disorder, type 1 diabetes, or any serious respiratory condition, please consult your healthcare provider before practicing reduced volume breathing or any breath hold. If at any point during this track you feel lightheaded, dizzy, or distressed, simply return to your normal breathing. The practice is meant to be comfortable. Discomfort is a signal to stop. The first principle of the practice is simple. Breathe through your nose. In and out. Through the nose, not the mouth. The nose is what your body was designed to breathe through. The filtering, the warming, the humidifying of the air, the regulation of breath volume, all of it happens through the nose. The steady, ongoing daily breath of being alive is meant to happen there. Mouth breathing has its place, but it is not the default the body was designed for. If your nose is blocked or congested right now, here is something to try. McKeown teaches a nose-unblocking exercise. Sit upright, try to breathe through your nose, and if you can, breathe normally through your nose for a few breaths. If your nose is blocked, even chronically, then simply try to take a small breath in through the nose and a small breath out through the nose. Before you try again, pinch your nose closed gently with your fingers. Hold your breath and nod your head slowly or walk in place, casually, without pushing. Keep going until you feel a real urge to breathe, not a panic, just a real signal. Then release your nose, close your mouth, and resume gentle nasal breathing or attempting to nasal breathe. The breath hold causes carbon dioxide to accumulate slightly, and carbon dioxide is a vasodilator. It relaxes the blood vessels in your nasal passages, which reduces congestion and opens the nostrils. The opening is a chemical effect, not effort. If you need to, you can repeat the exercise 2 or 3 times. Most people find the nose opens within 1 or 2 rounds. I was shocked when I first learned about this, and equally as shocked as to how effective it was for me. McKeown teaches this nasal passage opening exercise in The Oxygen Advantage, and it is one of the most useful tools in the method. If you have a chronically blocked nose, this is worth learning this properly from his book. The second principle of the practice is quieter and more subtle. Breathe lightly, with reduced volume. McKeown calls this breathing light to breathe right. The idea is that most of us, most of the time, breathe more than the body actually needs. Overbreathing has become so common, we do not notice it. The Buteyko practice gently invites the breath to soften, to become smaller, quieter, less audible. The breath becomes so light that if someone were nearby, they would barely hear it. They might barely see your chest move. The feeling you are looking for is a slight, comfortable air hunger. Slight, comfortable, not panic, not distress. Just a mild sense of wanting a slightly bigger breath, while you breathe slightly smaller than that. This air hunger is the signal that the breath is becoming more efficient. The body adjusts. the mind quiets, the system settles. It is worth taking a moment to understand why breathing less actually gets you more oxygen. This sounds backwards, and it surprises most people the first time they hear it. Before I explain, an important note. I am not a doctor. I am not a medical professional. What I am about to share is my understanding of physiology that McKeown teaches in his books, and that is in standard medical textbooks. But please do not take any of this as medical advice. If you have any health concerns, especially asthma or any breathing condition, please speak with a qualified healthcare provider before changing your breathing patterns. The mechanism is something called the Bohr Effect, discovered by the Danish physiologist Christian Bohr in 1904. Here is roughly how it works. When you breathe, oxygen attaches to hemoglobin in your red blood cells, and the blood carries it through your body. But hemoglobin does not release oxygen to your tissues automatically. The release depends on carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide is at a healthy level, hemoglobin lets the oxygen go, and your tissues, organs, brain, and muscles receive it. When carbon dioxide is too low, hemoglobin holds on to the oxygen too tightly, and your tissues receive less of it, even if your blood is fully saturated. This is why breathing less can give you more oxygen, not less. Overbreathing, breathing more than your body needs, blows off too much carbon dioxide. With less carbon dioxide in your blood, hemoglobin does not release oxygen properly, and your tissues run lower on oxygen even while you are breathing hard. Light breathing keeps carbon dioxide at the level your body needs for hemoglobin to do its job. The oxygen actually reaches you. This is McKeown's central insight in the oxygen advantage. The body needs both oxygen and carbon dioxide in the right balance. Modern habits, stress, mouth breathing, talking constantly, sitting hunched over screens, push most of us into chronic overbreathing. Less breath, not more, is what restores the balance. There is another piece of this worth understanding, especially if you have asthma or know someone who does. McKeown teaches that asthma is often at its root a breathing pattern issue. People with asthma tend to chronically overbreathe, which depletes carbon dioxide. The body, in response, narrows the airways, the wheezing and tight chest that asthma is known for, partly as a protective reflex. The narrowing slows the breath and helps the body hold on to carbon dioxide. So the asthma symptom is, in a sense, the body trying to make you stop breathing out so much. This is not the whole story of asthma. There are real medical considerations. But the breathing pattern angle is why Buteyko has been studied for asthma management, and why some people with asthma find significant relief through the practice. Again, I am not a doctor, and this is not medical advice. If you have asthma or any breathing condition, please work with your healthcare provider and consider working with a certified Buteyko practitioner who can guide you safely. With that background, let me explain one more thing before we begin the practice. McKeown's control pause. The control pause is the primary measurement in the Buteyko method. It gives you a way to track your breathing efficiency over time, and it is the most useful tool you will take away from this introduction. Here's how to do it. Sit upright. Breathe normally through your nose for a few breaths. After a normal, gentle exhale, not a forced exhale, just a regular one, pinch your nose closed. Hold your breath. Time the seconds. Stop holding at the first real urge to breathe, the first definite signal that air is wanted. Release your nose. The first breath after the hold should be no bigger than your normal breath. If you have to gasp or take a large breath, you held too long and the measurement is not accurate. The number of seconds you held is your control pause. McKeown's framework is roughly this. A control pause under 10 seconds suggests significant breathing dysfunction. 10 to 20 seconds suggests noticeable overbreathing. 20 to 40 seconds is the improvement zone, where most people start. 40 seconds or above suggests healthy breathing. 60 seconds or above suggests athletic or optimal breathing. The goal of Buteyko practice is to gradually raise the control pause over weeks and months through consistent nasal breathing and light breathing throughout the day. Measure your control pause first thing in the morning before you have moved around much for the most accurate reading. Track it. See how the number changes as you practice. The control pause is the feedback that makes the practice tangible. It turns a general intention into a measurable trajectory. One important note, the control pause is a measurement, not a competition. Do not push for a higher number. Pushing defeats the purpose. The number rises naturally as your breathing becomes more efficient through the daily practice of nasal breathing and reduced volume breathing. Try to take an honest measurement every morning with the same standard. First, real urge, no gasping. Let the number tell you the truth. Now the practice itself. For the next several minutes, we will breathe together. I will stay with you. The voice will not leave you. You will hear gentle, varying, anchoring language throughout, small reminders of what you are doing, so the practice stays steady without interruption. Sit comfortably. Close your mouth gently. Let your tongue rest on the roof of your mouth. Let the breath move through your nose. In through the nose, out through the nose, soft. Begin to let each inhale be a little smaller than usual. Each exhale slow and quiet. Lighter, quieter, just a little less than habit. The breath should feel slightly underinflated, almost as though you are barely breathing, and yet comfortable. Stay here. Light, through the nose, the slight comfortable air hunger. If the air hunger becomes uncomfortable, simply breathe normally for a few breaths, then return to the light breath. Soft inhale, slow exhale, smaller than habit. Notice the body settling, the shoulders, the jaw, the hands. Stay with the light breath. Through the nose, just a little less than your usual breath. The body knows how to do this. It has been waiting for the permission to do less. Soft, quiet, through the nose. The body is adjusting. The breath is becoming more efficient. There is nothing to do but stay here, lightly. Each breath smaller, each breath quieter. The mind comes to rest when the breath does. Notice the steadiness. The body knows how to do this. Soft, light through the nose. Slight air hunger, comfortable, not pushing. Carbon dioxide is rising gently. Oxygen is being delivered where it is needed. The system is recalibrating on its own while you simply stay. Stay with the light breath. The voice will keep you company. Less, not more. That is the whole of the practice. Through the nose, always through the nose. The breath becomes a quiet rhythm under everything else. Notice how this kind of breathing feels in the body. Notice the way the mind settles when the breath softens. Soft inhale, slow exhale, light. The body finds its own rhythm when given permission. If the air hunger has become uncomfortable, this is a good moment to return to normal breathing for a few breaths, without judgment. The edge drifts during long practice. Coming back to the light breath is part of the practice. When you are ready, return to the soft breath through the nose. Less than habit, slight air hunger. Stay here. The body is doing the work. This is what the Buteyko method invites, a return to the breath your body was designed for. Through the nose, gentle, quiet. The body adjusts to less and discovers it was enough all along. Stay with the light breath. Smaller than habit. Comfortable air hunger, steady. If the mind wanders, gently return to the breath. Through the nose, soft. There is nothing to achieve, only this, the light breath continuing. The practice is a return, not an arrival. Notice the simplicity. Less, not more. Through the nose, that is all of it. The body has been ready for this for a long time. Stay with the light breath. The voice is still here. Soft inhale. Quiet exhale. Smaller than habit. Comfortable. Notice the calm spreading through the body, the slower heart rate, the settled mind. These are the effects of the breath becoming more efficient, the body's chemistry restoring its balance. Through the nose, light, continuing. The practice is doing the work. You are simply staying with it. Stay with the soft breath. Through the nose, a little less than usual. The body knows. The body has always known. Less breath, more oxygen where it is needed, steady mind, settled system. This is the practice. This is what it offers. We are coming toward the close of the practice. Stay with the light breath for these final minutes. Through the nose, gentle, quiet, less than habit. The body knows this rhythm. The body has been ready for it all along. Notice the calm, the steadiness, the way the system has settled. This is the practice. This is what it offers. Light breath, through the nose, the slight comfortable air hunger. Stay. The voice is still here. The body is still doing the work. In a moment, we will let the practice close. You can let your breath return to its natural rhythm, still through the nose, but with no specific volume target, just easy nasal breathing. Notice how the body feels now compared to when we began. Notice the steadiness, the slower mind, the settled chest. This is what the practice gives, a little less breath, a more available body. As we close, a final honest note. This practice has helped me personally. That is the reason this track exists. It is not the channel's regular content. If it helps you too, the people to learn from are Patrick McKeown and certified Buteyko practitioners. McKeown has written many books, and the ones I have found especially beneficial are The Oxygen Advantage, The Breathing Cure, and Close Your Mouth. Consider those resources for a deeper dive. The Oxygen Advantage website and app offer guided practices from McKeown himself. Certified Buteyko practitioners around the world can offer personalized guidance. Consider trying the control pause first thing tomorrow morning. See where you are. Then practice nasal breathing and light breathing through your day, and measure again each morning. Thank you for spending these minutes with me. Breathe light, breathe right, take care of yourself.